Welcome back to the Aspen Club, everyone. My name's Eddie Harrold, and today I want to give you an amazing breathing technique that comes to us from the yoga systems in regard to taking less breaths per minute, adding more length to the inhale and exhale, taking less breaths per minute, adding more depth to the inhale and depth to the exhale, so it's more invigorating but also very cleansing, and also adding a greater or slower pace to the breathing, which stabilizes what's happening in the various departments of the brain and allows the body to have strong elimination and metabolize fat instead of our precious glycogen reserves. And the breathing technique I want to lead you through today is called the ocean-sounding breath, or the ujjayi breathing. And ujjayi in the ancient Sanskrit translates into capturing your mind in the present moment. So the mind doesn't sway off into what has happened or what might happen, because the only time we really have any power over how we're going to behave, the choices we're going to make, is in the present moment. So this involves creating a contraction at the top of your trachea. And when we create this contraction around the trachea, what happens is, number one, the brain and mind are pulled down into the neutral tone that takes place in the throat. And number two, the contraction of the muscles around the trachea and the little piece of epiglottis cartilage allows inflammation or wastes that are in the throat area to be eviscerated and incinerated and burned, so that that waste, that mucus, phlegm, fat, inflammation waste product doesn't drip down and you have fluid in your lungs. We don't want to have any fluid in the lungs, as the lungs are always exchanging gases, and the more gas that we can exchange in the upper chest area, the greater ability we have to remove excessive fluids down in our gastrointestinal tract and in the organs in the process of DEA, digestion, elimination, assimilation. So bring one hand up to your face and pretend it's a mirror. And we're going to mouth breathe here. Close your eyes and exhale into your hand as if you're fogging a mirror. And with your brain, try to identify and pinpoint where that sound is taking place in the back of the throat and across the top of the palate in the way back part of your mouth. Bring the hand down. Let your eyes close. Now, use the brain and contract the area that the brain and mind just identified from the mouth breathing. Relax your jaw and eyes, and as you breathe, you'll notice a tone, a neutral tone or frequency is emanating from the top of the trachea behind the Adam's apple. Now, if this is new to you, it's probably easier for you to do this on the exhale. So as the pressure builds from the inhale, squeeze that throat area. And it's a soft snore. It's almost as if you're holding a conch shell or seashell up to your ear, as if you're at the beach, and you could hear the ocean off in the distance. Or some folks might call it the sound of space, or a train off in the distance. But either way, that neutral tone introverts your five sense perception. So you're introverting, you're checking in, you're becoming present. Inhaling slowly, exhaling slowly, trying to make that sound in your throat very meditative, calming, and relaxing to the various nervous systems of the body and the brain. Relax your eyes back into the sockets, let your eyes close, and hold your mental awareness in the throat, and watch the rise and fall of the inhale and exhale through this contraction in the throat. Just observe the sound. Witness the sound of the in and out breath. As you continue to practice, try to work with the softest sound as possible. So there's just a slight contraction on the inhale and a slight contraction on the exhale. It's barely audible to your mind's ear. Practice this ocean-sounding breath. If this is comfortable for you, in the last minute here, incorporate the 4-part breath, where there is a step 1, an inhale, a 2-second holding, step 3, exhale, hold the breath out, step 4, a 2-second holding, or maybe just a pause. So this 4-part or 4-step breathing with the ocean sound from the yogic tradition in the throat, notice almost instantaneously you're relaxing. There's less perception of stress. There's a greater level of absorption and concentration, clarity. Concentration is the key. Where do we stop concentrating and growing? Where do we separate ourselves from that process, whether it is emotional or intellectual awareness or cognitive? Just another couple rounds. Keep relaxing. Keep calming down and feel the cooling that's taking place in the various nervous systems and the cells of your body, the neurons in your brain and how they communicate and listen, how they talk. And when you feel ready, stop the breathing. Open your eyes. How did that feel? Practice it all the time. This is a wonderful tool. Notice as we valve the air almost from the top of the trachea, we can control the length of the inhale and the pace of the inhale and the depth of the inhale. In other words, as the air comes in slower, there's a longer inhale in time. So you're going to be taking less breaths per minute, which means you're going to use less energy getting through each hour of your day. Notice the pace. With the air creating resistance in the throat, we've put resistance on the inspiratory muscles and the muscles of inhale. This slows down the breathing. And when the breathing is slower, it has a major effect on the brain. The brain sees that slower inhale as a sign that you feel safe in this moment. You're not under threat of attack, nor are you thinking in a way that's negative or aggressive against yourself or others. In that, all the heavy heating neurochemicals or defensive or aggressive neurochemicals and the adrenaline and cortisol that would come up in the body for a fight or flight response are temporarily subdued. Serotonin is secreted through the body, and we have major secretions of dopamine and oxytocin in the brain, which creates calm, which creates a sense of abundance or happiness even, or a sense of well-being. And when we have that from the ocean sound, and we have that little slower inhale, you'll notice there's more depth to the inhale. So what you're inhaling is going deeper into your cells, all the way down into the soles of your feet, keeping you grounded moment by moment as you perform at high levels during the day. Notice the qualities of the inhale as the airway restriction takes place here, the heat that's formed here stimulates to the inner body that we're creating moisture, humidity, steam. Before the damp air comes into the alveoli sacs of the lungs, the air is already filtered and prepared to be exchanged into a fluid, which is so important because then it takes less energy for the body to make that transformation from gas to fluid. It stimulates inside the seasons of spring and summer, where it's normally warm, humid, and moist, and there's more movement to everything. When we breathe through the mouth or we don't constrict the throat, the air comes in unfiltered, and it comes in cool, damp, dry, cold, and it takes energy for the body to prepare that to be exchanged. And over a period of time, we use more energy than we need to during the day, which eventually catches up to us and will be more, let's just say, not fully present in the body, and then we won't be as fully present in the mind. On the exhale, notice when you constrict the throat, your exhale is longer in length. And that longer in length, again, is going to be less breaths per minute. Less breaths per minute, you're strengthening your muscles of inhale and exhale, or inspiratory and expiratory muscles. And when the respiratory muscles become more dynamic, the vagus and phrenic nerve, the muscles around the diaphragm, become more dynamic. This takes pressure off your cardiovascular organs and your blood pressure. And when we take artificial pressure off the cardiovascular organs, the heart rate is lower, the blood pressure is lower. And when that takes place, there's a greater calm in the various departments of the brain of how we're showing up in the present moment. So always think about taking less breaths per moment, scrubbing your blood of impurities, and always looking to thin your blood as much as possible and having the least amount of inflammation or excess around the nerve endings and on the cells of the body. So this ocean-sounding breath that we're making in the throat really aerates the lungs, so there's a greater exchange of air and carbon dioxide. It smooths and calms all the various nervous systems of the body. It's great for folks with high blood pressure or coronary issues because it resets these systems very, very quickly. So I invite you to practice this all the time, either in your car, standing in line. It's great for meditation. It's wonderful for exercise. You should do this all the time in exercise. So you're getting more out of your exercise routines. Use it at work. You're always going to be on top, and you're always going to have the best answer or the best question when you're using this ocean-sounding breath. So my name's Eddie Harrold. I'm here at the Asthma Club. It was great to be with you today. Go be great.